So, here's a list of all the pitches I'm gonna throw in order.
Ooh! I don't think so, South Park.
Yeah, you think we want to win? Then we have to keep playing this boring game.
Yeah!
You hate this game too?
Yeah, and then we won the stupid regionals and had to do this lousy tournament.
We want to play video games.
Oh, no!
Look, we're gonna be the losers tonight, alright?
I don't think so. There's no way you can lose to us. We're going down. We're gonna get creamed.
No, we're gonna get creamed. We'll just see about that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
Oh boy, they're really getting in each other's heads out there. Yeah, let's go, South Park. These Fort Collins kids got nothing. Woo!
All right. Welcome everybody to NFC North West Coast Edition. It was a fun week for 50% of the NFC North teams. The other 50% not so much. But here we are. 10 weeks in the books of the NFL season, and it's been a wild season so far.
It's a confusing season. It's a very confusing season. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's been a doozy for sure. Good stuff to talk about today. I'm sure some frustrating stuff to talk about on my partner side over here.
Frustrating? Why is it frustrating? It's not like they just took half the playbook, threw it away, and just said run in every down, even if it's like 10 yards to first. Yeah, okay.
Well, I rather enjoyed this past weekend. So let's get into it. We'll start with the Sunday games, and then we'll get into the Monday night game. So 3 of the 4 NFC North teams played Sunday. We'll start with the Ravens and Vikings game. So Vikings played at home, hosting the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens came out on top 27-19.
Yeah.
So initial thoughts.
Still tough for the for the Vikings. They're still trying to figure stuff out, and Lamar Jackson will do that to teams. I do feel like it's a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be. I did think that the Ravens were going to really go away with this game. So 27-19 is not as bad as it could have been, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the score is a little misleading because the Vikings offense just looked like a mess the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
It just...
Hey, what are you talking about? The alter ego 9 came out. 9. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
JJ he was asked, do you have to go to a special, a place, what do you do to get into game mood or whatever the asked. And he's like, oh, I have an alter ego. I have to channel my 9. I call him 9 or something like that. I'm like, is he referring to himself in the third person and he gave himself a nickname 9?
This is giving me some ayahuasca vibes.
Yes.
Okay.
So they didn't get Aaron Rodgers to retire, but maybe they got the second coming.
I mean, okay. Well, I hope 9 works out for him. So, yeah, I mean, the Vikings offense really, 12 penalties for 102 yards, including 8 false starts. So that right there in itself is, I can understand the frustration with that because the Bears have been struggling with that in the early parts of the season. McCarthy, 20 for 42, 248 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Really should have been 3 interceptions, but one was called back by the refs.
And it's not like the Ravens have a world-beating type of defense. They're probably in the bottom 5.
Yeah.
So that was a confusing stat line.
Yeah, this is like one of those games where I look and, to me it was... You can see that J.J. McCarthy is still technically a rookie. This is one of those growing pain type games where, you go through your rookie year, not on the same page offensively, missing throws, is really struggling with accuracy. Of course, using his athleticism again, but yeah, I mean, when you have Justin Jefferson, 4 reception for 37 yards, and your second receiver, Jordan Addison, 3 receptions for 35 yards.
My flex?
You know, it's
My,
not a good day offensively. I mean, you can highlight Jalen Naylor in there for, coming through 5 receptions, 124 yards and a touchdown, but I mean, again, kind of tells a story, right? When your 1 and 2 receivers are both shut down.
yeah. And
Because there's not a lot of plays where Jalen Naylor is the number 1 option. So when he's catching 124 yards, maybe something's off in the timing of the routes or whatever it may be. But yeah, definitely a rough day for the offense.
I do feel like we're starting to get to a point where even the Vikings are going to have to admit that maybe this is not the year. This is the developmental year for JJ strictly. Because if they play it safe, you're not developing the kid.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to play it safe. You want to know what the kid has. But at the same time, him trying to sling it or trying to do all these let's push the sticks. He's getting interceptions. And it might have worked against the Lions for some reason, which I think that we came to the conclusion that was the Lions getting in their own way more than it was the Vikings. But I could see this game, Vikings losing to the Ravens and still being okay with it, but not going against that defense and getting 2 or almost 3 picks against that crap defense.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? And this is kind of like the beauty and the ugliness of the NFL, where 1 week the Vikings, again, played complimentary football last week, and it was like all 3 phases were really putting things together, and then you come in this week and it's like, where's the offense? What's going on here? And their defense played pretty well. I don't have anything really to say about the defense. The special teams did struggle because Miles Pierce had like 2.
I thought we started with the Vikings game, because this seems like it's the same talking points for the later games coming on for me.
Yeah, so I mean, two muffed returns. One was actually recovered by the Ravens, the other one recovered by the Vikings. But those are the kinds of things that, especially when you're playing better teams, you just, with the penalties, with the offense not showing up, with the mistakes on special teams, your defense cannot keep you in the game, well, they did for the most part, but again,
we're learning that defenses can only keep you in a game long enough.
Yeah. And the other thing I'm just like curious from the Vikings perspective is like, where's Jordan Mason? Like, I understand Aaron Jones was back, but the offense needed a spark, in my opinion. And Jordan Mason, who has been playing as well as could be, in the first couple weeks, and then is now starting to get phased out. But for me, you gave up a 5th and 6th round pick for this guy, and he needs to be involved more.
I agree.
And especially when you are looking for that little spark. It's just weird that I think he only got like 5 touches in the game or something like that. So, yeah, 5 touches for 31 yards in the game. And, the Ravens, they went to their run game to find, some offense. And once they started running the ball more, then things started to turn for them. Whereas the Vikings,
they couldn't get it.
Yeah, they couldn't get anything going. So just an interesting thing to
think. I'm trying to figure out. I'm struggling to figure out how the run game for that team, for the Vikings, is working out, because it doesn't even seem like it's a change of pace. It almost feels like they're running the same place.
Yeah.
And I would expect Jordan Mason to have more physicality or do something, but he's getting stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He's not getting that strong, that physical play that we expected from him. And I mean, Aaron Jones is Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones, he's shifty, and if lanes aren't opening up, he's not going to be able to do much.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, rough one for the Vikings, especially playing at home, but I mean, we talked about this when the Ravens played the Bears, The Ravens are a much better team than their record indicates. Obviously in the playoffs last year, and I would imagine they're going to make a run here in a very poor piss poor division in the AFC North, but I would imagine they'd make a run here, and I can see them definitely sneaking in the playoffs here.
Well, the fact that the Joe Flaccos have a chance at some point, so
And the Aaron Rodgers.
and the Aaron Rodgers.
It's an interesting division to say the least. And
It's either the injury prone quarterbacks or the elderly in that division. I don't know what's happening.
yeah, for real. Yeah, I got nothing else more on the Ravens Vikings game. I mean,
It seems like that's becoming the story right now. They haven't been able to show enough for us to actually like highlight any player.
yeah, consistency is
Yeah.
what, and of course, it's been odd, right? Because you start off with JJ, they steal a game from the Bears, first game of the season, and then gets injured. Then you result to Carson Wentz. And then it was like,
Yeah.
oh boy, okay. Carson Wentz had like a couple highlights and then started to show why he's Carson Wentz.
Yep.
And then now we got JJ back, and it's like, okay, now we got to go through the growing pains, because that, to me, that's really what it is. And like you said, we don't know what he is until he plays, until he's out there and he develops. So
For this year, this is his first year. I'm just going to consider it his first year. He has experience from last year to observe. Playing time, though, first year, because he couldn't even practice last year.
yeah, very different for sure. Alrighty, let's move on to our next Sunday game. Morning time for us, afternoon if you're on the East Coast, early afternoon, I should say. The Bears-Giants game. So Bears playing at home against the Giants, and the Bears come out on top 24-20.
This is a lot closer than it should have been.
I mean, the Bears do it again. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
making magic
recognize
at the-
this team. It's a weird feeling. Down 2010 in the fourth quarter, and Caleb Williams, man. I know we were talking about like how JJ McCarthy has ice in his veins. Well,
Who?
guess what? Caleb
Nine.
Williams.
It's
Oh, my bad.
Nine
Nine.
has ice
My
in his
bad.
veins.
For me, it's, that I call him 9. 9 comes out, and I got to understand, like, okay, he can't be at his peak performance throughout 3.5 hours. So,
But, Caleb Williams also has ice in his veins as well. So keep on talking, talkers, because I know there's a lot of haters out there. And this kid can play. And, I consider it a lot of growing pains too because of the consistency. But he's consistently shown over the course of this season that he can lead game-winning drive. I think he's tied. He's tied for first in 4 game-winning drives this year with Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield. So the kid,
Strange year.
nasty.
So the positives are there. They're definitely there. Caleb Williams is showing that he could be clutch. He could bring a game back. And I mean, we could talk about the Loveland catch that won the game instead of just tying it or trying to go for a field goal. This game, he's consistently getting to that point. But there were a lot of negatives for your team to even be in those positions, especially in this game against the Giants. And that I get, NFL team, we get that. But I feel like there are some concerns to be down 10 in the fourth.
I mean, yeah, I would say so. But again, you have the Giants beat Philly.
Yeah.
So it's not.
But
it's
that
not
was a
the
totally different Giants team than what we have now. They've lost enough pieces that you can't really count them as the same team.
You mean Cam Scadaboo?
That's a big piece.
But you said pieces. Who else?
Well, I
have
mean,
they lost?
now they've lost Dart.
Yeah, but he played.
I know,
most of the game.
I know.
So, I mean, I think that one thing that was really apparent to me is cleaning up the penalties. Right? I think for the first game the entire season we had lesser penalties than our opponent. So only 3 penalties for 25 yards compared to the Giants, 10 penalties for 69 yards. That's huge right then itself. won the takeover battle again, forced a turnover for a
Yes.
huge momentum change. And I think that, again, if it's close, then this team continues to find ways to win. And that's
Well, they're
very,
fighting to the end.
yeah, that's, again, a credit to a culture shift in Chicago, because there's been plenty of games. Like, usually we're on the Giants side, right?
Yeah.
Where we could be playing a great game and then we're the ones that, I mean, we did it the first game of the season.
Yeah.
So the fact that this team has shown it can respond to adversity and, like you said, keep fighting the entire 60 minutes. They don't give up on each other. They don't give up on Ben Johnson and the play calls. And again, with Caleb Williams, is what I've noticed the past couple weeks with Caleb. I don't know if he just like needed the green light, but his ability to escape the pocket and now get rushing yards. And not only that, though, but like the Giants have a good pass rush. They have a good pass rush. And the amount of times that Caleb was able to escape the pocket and just his elusiveness was a huge factor into how the Bears were able to win this game.
I mean, how many yards? 63 yards or something like that? For Caleb.
Maybe.
Yeah. He had 3 rushes. I know that for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, 2 of them, one of them basically set up the touchdown to bring us within 1. And then another one, he ran on 3rd down that kept the drive going. It was like 3rd and long. And then rushed us all the way to basically the 2-yard line to throw that touchdown to Rome. So these are the kinds of things that, when you draft a athletic quarterback like this, and what I also can appreciate is he's still looking downfield. He's not just immediately looking to gain rushing yards. He's noticing that there's nothing downfield. I'm going to take what I can get on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's, the past 2 weeks, that's what I've seen.
I will say, though, some of these, what's the best way to put it? These comebacks are going to be harder with the schedule you guys have coming up right now.
Yeah, of course. We have a very difficult schedule now. And that's, now we're really going to see what this team is made of, because we don't... Coming from behind, or these late minute, or like I should say 4th quarter pushes, it's not a recipe for long-term success. Now, the ability to do it gives you a tremendous amount of confidence. But and they've been talking about it in their post-game conferences as well, is they want to be able to go into the 4th quarter with a lead and close out the game. Not playing from behind.
Take the
all
next
the time.
step.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it reminds me of Matthew Stafford. That was always the talking point. He has the most 4th quarter comebacks. But I'm like, he didn't have much success with the Lions. He was always forced to come back.
Yeah.
Because he was talented enough, and we still see it at his age right now.
Yeah, and he's balling out.
He's balling out
in LA.
But it wasn't a recipe for success. Right now, it's working.
Yeah.
But if you want to make a push in the playoffs, you can't be behind 10, 17 points in the 3rd quarter. I do think that you guys are showing that you have the clutch gene with Caleb's. And I've always thought he had it. And Ben Johnson is adapting to all the mistakes that he's made in the beginning of the season. So
yeah. And we haven't really talked about it on the podcast yet, but, I was never a big fan of CJ Gardner-Johnson. In fact, there was some beef several years ago with him and the Bears and throwing punches. And I think it was Javon Wims, him and him, like they got in a fight.
CJ threw punches?
What? And so, it was like, couldn't stand this dude, right? Yeah. And I will have to say, I got to give this man some credit, because he's come in, to this Bears locker room, and he's really made his presence known on the football field. Now, obviously, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know, what behind the scenes are, but from what it sounds like, he felt that football was taken away from him, and now he's thankful for the opportunity. And maybe this is the kind of experience that needs to humble a person like that, where
he grew up.
But he's a great football player, and I know he was really loved in Philly, and he always reminds me of, like, if you're familiar with hockey, you know, there's players that, like, Corey Perry's one name that comes to mind, um, where if he's on your team, you love him. If he's not on your
The
team, you're,
enforcer.
like Andrew Shaw for the Blackhawks would be another, like, person I would reference. But it's just I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen so far. You know, he's got 15 total tackles. I think it's like 3 sacks and a forced fumble. And I mean, he's come in and he's fit right in. So I got to give credit to Ryan Poles for, you know, taking a chance on him, because so far it's been working out. Now, hopefully, you know, we don't have any of the attitude issues, but if he can get on board, then
I
that
mean, I
could
think
have
he
been a really
knows.
sneaky move for the Bears for sure.
I think he's riding the wave right now because the team
Maybe.
is the team is doing. It's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be throwing punches right now and
Well, I mean,
jeopardize that
yeah,
kind of.
especially because you just got a chance, right?
Yeah.
And he's showing that he's grateful for the opportunity,
Yeah.
and so yeah, like, of course everything is fine and dandy when you're winning football games. You really see the true character of players when you lose football games, right?
That's fair.
But that's what I can really appreciate about this Bears team so far is, you know, starting the season 0-2 and then going 6-1 in your next 7 games is you,
I
you're
mean,
trending. You're
you had
trending,
a
and you're
fun fact on
responding.
that it was like the statistics were like like they're so low for
Yeah.
people to go 0-2 and still make the playoffs.
Yep.
So it's looking good. We don't know yet, but it's looking good.
Yep. The last thing I want to talk about in this Bears game specifically is too many drops, and I'm kind of I'm starting to get over Alameda Zaccheaus because I want to see Luther Burden in that role.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that Caleb Williams was throwing the ball hard, and those were some line drives, but very catchable balls, and
Yeah.
we can't have consistent drops. And I mean, Ben Johnson said it best is he doesn't see that in practice, so he kind of thinks it's a one-off, but definitely something to monitor going forward, because if that continues, then
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna have like Green Bay Packers situation.
We're not even on my team right now, and we're already throwing strays at me.
All right, well, let's move on then to the Sunday later afternoon game, early evening, if you're on the East Coast, not West Coast like
The
us.
belt to ass bowl again?
Yeah, so Lions playing in Washington, demolishing the Commanders. Lions win 44-22.
Yeah.
Must feel good, you know, for the Lions. It's their little revenge game because they got spanked
Yeah.
in the playoffs last year. So
But we did
They're
these injuries are, it's like they've inverted or they've flipped all the injuries from the Lions. Now the Commanders are getting every single injury.
yeah. So obviously, you know, Marcus Mariota getting the start for injured James Daniels. But I mean,
That team, I feel bad for them. Like,
yeah.
lost your running back. Now you lose your quarterback for the whole year, most likely.
Yeah. They have they haven't had their like star receiver for basically the entire
Scary Terry's been gone.
season. So yeah, I mean, it sucks, right? You make a nice little run last year, and then this year comes around and it's just, yeah.
Where's the
it's rough.
comparisons though? I know he's been injured, but everyone kept on saying that. Why am I praising a bear? But everyone kept on saying that it was Jaden Daniels, and I still think that's going to be a conversation for years. But if Caleb was in the same situation right now, I do think that people would be crucifying him. It's like, oh, he's injury prone, or he's this prone, or he's not doing this.
Yeah, and what a lot of people fail to realize is Caleb Williams should technically be 2-0 over Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Caleb Williams led yet again what was supposed to be a game-winning drive in that fourth quarter, and the Bears just in their horrible coaching.
He did it with the Eberflus too.
They didn't have situational football, exactly, and so, you know, like, you should never be losing the game on a Hail Mary.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, it's And unfortunately, that's how it went down. And so now, of course, and you know, they say, oh, well, they made it to the playoffs his rookie year. Well, very different situations. All right.
Yeah.
And now you look at it. Now we have a very similar situation to what the Commanders had last year in
Inverted. We'll see
and
how.
getting an offensive minded coach
Yeah.
and, you know, getting some support from your defense. And so whatever, we're going a little off topic here, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, I think that the conversation for that is going to be going on for years.
mhm.
They're going to be tied together, kind of like Wentz and
Everybody
Goff.
in that
Yeah.
class, Drake May, Bo Nix, like everybody in that class
yeah.
is going to get compared for, you know, the next 5-10 years.
Agreed.
So and to be honest, and the JJ McCarthy and the verdict is still out, but I mean, yeah, I haven't really seen anything that Jaden Daniels does that Caleb Williams is incapable of doing. So
Yeah.
but speaking about, you know, the Lions Commanders game specifically, I think one of the biggest storylines to come out is seems like Dan Campbell is taking over the play
I
calling.
saw that, and Eddie texted me some of that,
Yeah.
just talking points for that.
Yeah.
He looked good. Don't get me wrong. I need to see this type of dominance against an actual good team, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you could tell that. Okay, so that's something we've talked about from the beginning, like John Moran's play calling. Okay, you can tell that Dan Campbell definitely has a better feel for
Yes.
what this offense can do and situationally when to call what plays because they were much more efficient on third down. Obviously kept drives going, staying ahead of the chains. They didn't even really get to third down that often. They were just continuing to stay ahead of the chains.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, Jared Goff, 25 for 33, 320 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
226 rushing yards total for 546 offensive yards on the day.
This is something I want to say about Dan Campbell. He never plays, not never, but he rarely plays down to his competition.
Mm-hmm.
There are other teams who you look on paper, you're like, okay, the Packers. You look on paper and they're like, oh, they got this, and that. And then they play down to their competition and they either barely win or they'll lose that game.
Yeah.
The Lions never do that. The Lions will whoop teams' ass by 30 or 40 points.
Yeah. And again, they respond again, right? They lose last week and they come back out and win.
Yes.
Their streak of not going 0-2 continues, which to me is a wildly crazy streak and impressive.
And you have a good coach. You don't make the same mistakes twice.
Yeah. And, you know, another thing about the Lions is, well, one, the punch on Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was just
The sucker punch?
Yeah. It's like,
That was a sucker punch.
Yeah. It was so stupid.
It
and
was.
it really affected them after that. Like,
Yeah.
the D-line was not the same.
Well, I suppose your sucker punch.
Yeah. So
That was dumb. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what was said and how we got to that point, but just like when the Kirby thing happened, you got to be smarter than that. And right near all the refs, oh, I'm going to sucker punch on Ra.
Yeah. Darren Payne, he's gonna cause some pain for his team.
Oh,
pun
yeah.
intended. So yeah,
He's punching a
it's-
helmet too. Like
I always think it's funny when when players do that. It's like, ooh, good job. Like, I don't know. It's just
it hurt your hand more than his head.
Yeah, it's so silly. But again, impressive outing from the
Yes.
Lions. You know, they're also dealing with some injuries on their offensive line,
Yeah.
and they're continuing to juggle, and it's working out for them. So, you know, I think I don't even know if Jared Goff was even pressured one time during that game. It just seemed like he had clean pockets all day. So,
I do think that Dan Campbell taking over is going to help him a lot, even with the offensive line woes, because I do feel like he has the awareness to throw the ball away faster. My concern is going to come what happens in those 4th and 3s.
oh,
or
he's
4th
going
and
for
2.
it all the time.
All the
Doesn't
time.
matter. Even if John Morton's
I
calling the
know,
plays.
but okay, I feel like at least your offensive coordinator could like, hey, it's not a bright idea to do this. Like, let's just wait for the next one. I feel like now everything's gone. Like,
I
fuck it.
mean, John Morton can still do that, but at the end of the day, Dan Campbell's like, go for it. Like,
You're on your 20-yard line. Go for it. But it's
Yeah.
it's 3rd and 20. Go for it.
Yep. The other thing is, I mean, now this is 2, games for Jameson Williams. Maybe he's finally gonna be involved in the offense consistently, because we've been wondering where he's been all season.
I mean,
so
yeah.
that's a good sign for Lions fans and for the team
And fantasy owners like me.
fantasy owners, because we've been wondering where he's been in this offense, and
He's their fastest guy.
yeah.
And why they don't use him, I just don't get it.
Well, and you can kind of tell, like, with the play calling this week, that it was pretty important to and have that intent to get Jameson Williams going. And that only makes your entire offense better when you have another weapon that you can consistently rely on. So but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Lions bounce back again. Impressive offensive day
All around.
Defense was solid. So,
They look good. They
yep.
beat a team that they were supposed to beat. I have no critiques. They did the job that they were supposed to.
Yep. So we'll see, like you said, how the play calling goes forward. And, I would imagine they maintain their aggressiveness. Now, like you said, how aggressive, we'll see.
I'm excited for that.
But yeah.
It's always entertaining. Because if they go and if they get it, cool. You were aggressive. But if they don't.
The other thing really quick that we haven't also talked about on the podcast yet is the Aiden Hutchinson signing.
Holy shit. Paid.
Yeah, Eddie asked me about it, and I'll tell the listeners the same thing I told him is, I think Hutch is a great player. He's probably going to be worth every penny, but that's not a contract that I would sign in a year he's recovering from an injury.
Yeah.
So,
I think
that's all I gotta say.
I think they're scared that the market's going to continue to, which of course it is. It's going to continue to go up.
Yeah.
And at that point, he is going to be so expensive when he does completely bounce back, like a year removed from that injury.
Yeah.
That I feel like we'll be talking about this being a discounted. I mean, how can you call the highest paid defensive player or highest paid non-quarterback contract ever discount?
Yeah.
But you get what I mean, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Good for Hutch, though. I mean, better show up, though. Well, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. He needs to get 25 sacks.
Yeah.
Beat the record. No, he doesn't. I never want to see that happen. Nope.
Alrighty. Let's move on to the Monday night game. Packers hosting the Eagles in Green Bay. Super thrilling game, guys. If you didn't watch this game, one of the highest scoring games I had ever seen on a Monday night. It's super crazy. But the Eagles beating the Packers 10-7. First of all, this is a very boring game. Sorry for all the NFL fans that tuned in on Monday Night Football. It was a defensive showdown, but still boring.
This was the most Thursday night, Monday night game I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. How the hell do we start the week with a 7-10 game and end it with a 7-10 game?
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
I texted you midway through the game. I'm like, how do we get both teams to lose? Not a tie. I want both teams to lose. Neither of these teams deserve to win this game.
Yeah. So
terrible game.
I mean,
I have a lot of thoughts about
you could go. So think away.
Okay. I want to start by saying the defense played fantastic. Both defenses, fantastic. A lot of mistakes made by the offenses, the counterparts, but defenses, nothing bad. Even that one touchdown that was thrown, hey, you're gonna lose some of those, but they played really good games, and you held the Super Bowl winning champs to 10 points. Nothing wrong with the defense on this one. I actually think that the defense showed that they might still be a dominant force moving forward. Now we move to Matt LaFleur, and I will eventually get a shirt made. Fuck Matt LaFleur. You saw the whole game, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see like the first quarter.
Okay. Did you see all the situational awareness or the moments where you kind of just scratch your head? You're like, I wouldn't do that. That just seems kind of dumb. Well, the players think so too, because apparently Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs had moments where the defense knew exactly what they were going to play, and they weren't allowed to audible out of those plays. And then Jordan Love was asked, like, okay, they knew, why didn't you move? He's like, that was the play that was called, and we had to go for it. That's a coaching problem.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not going to overreact. I don't think Matt LaFleur needs to get fired, but he's on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
This game was winnable. Our defense showed that they could keep us in these games. I don't trust the offense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. We'll start with the excuses right now, just because there are some. We lost all our wide receivers. From all the jokes that we've ever had, that we have so many, we didn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
We brought back Bo Melton, who was so bad at wide receiving that we made him a cornerback. We brought him back. And in a crucial moment where we needed to convert a fourth down, perfect throw, drop.
Yeah.
We lost Romeo Doubs. That was the big one. And once Romeo Doubs went out, I just don't think you can move the ball anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, okay, if you know that your offensive line is struggling and the run isn't working, what should you do?
I mean, probably have. See, it's tough because if you resort to quick passes, right, like quick outs, flats, slants, the defense knows that already.
I mean, they knew the plays they were going to play anyways.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what was very apparent is, and I think it's both Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, is I think Matt LaFleur is calling plays as if he doesn't trust the offensive line, and I think Jordan Love is playing the same way as if he doesn't trust the offensive line. So it's, it's one of those things where it's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird to not be able to audible, especially on a fourth down play.
I think it was because of course he has him on his headset, but I
Mhm.
think it was, this is the play we're going to call.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the issue. That play, we called it 4 times in this game and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? I got into the head of Aaron Rodgers when we did his episode, right? I got in the head of the ayahuasca.
Okay.
I got in the darkness retreat. I got into that space.
Okay.
Let me get into Matt LaFleur space, okay?
All right.
It's second down, 2nd and 10. What play are we going to call? We're going to go halfback tackle or halfback
Off tackle.
half tackle. Sorry. That's what we're going to go. Cool. It is 3rd down and 12. What are we going to go? Well, we're going to go halfback draw. Okay, let's say we got a penalty. It's 3rd down and 20. What are we going to go? Halfback blast. Okay. Jordan Love just got a 30-yard completion, a beautiful throw. What should the next play be? Okay. And finally, he's going to finally let Jordan Love throw the ball because he has to convert. He only needs 8 yards, 7 yards. What is he going to go for? 4 vertical. That's what it feels like. It feels, if Jordan Love's allowed to throw the ball, he throws it down 30 yards downfield. If he's not, he's running the ball. On our 4th down, on the most crucial play of the game, he does a halfback slant or some weird.
Yeah. I mean,
on the shotgun formation.
Yeah, I mean, again, we gotta take everything into account, right? So you made a great point earlier. Is he called a play, and the play would have converted if Bo Melton just caught the ball.
Yeah,
that would have been a 1st down, but didn't. And again, this is something that, I brought up or in the off season actually, of like, who's going to be that go-to receiver? And we can chalk it up to there's been injuries, so it keeps rotating, but
But in what team does Bo Melton and Wicks even start? Like, let's be honest. Like, they're not a starting caliber. Maybe they're third string, fourth string type of wide receivers. Not Bo Melton. But they were our 1 and 2.
But that's what I'm kind of saying about everybody on all the receivers on there. Like, when
Sure.
you really look at it, I mean,
I think Reed is in that borderline. When he plays, he's Jordan Love's favorite target, and he catches the ball. Like, he doesn't drop the ball. Matthew Golden was at least our third down conversion wide receiver. Didn't get trusted downfield for some reason, but we didn't have him either. And Romeo Dobbs is probably the most sure hands out of all of our wide receivers. He was out too. And Tucker Kraft, we talked about that, is the biggest hole for Jordan Love out of everyone.
Well, yeah, that to me, it was very apparent because, again, that was like Jordan Love's security blanket. So him going out was a huge factor. But you said Matthew Golden is the third down guy, but last week when he did play, he wasn't really the third down
One
guy.
game, but for the whole year, he's been our third down a third down wide receiver. He was injured last week, so that yeah, of course he's not going to catch anything. So, and we brought Watson back, so I assume that that's where they wanted to go. But for the last 3 weeks, our offense has looked inept. It's looked dull as hell.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting storyline because I mean, Matt LaFleur has always been known to,
Of course,
be able to move the ball. So I don't know. I don't know really where the disconnect is going. Like I said, from what, as somebody who has no knowledge of what's going on in the Green Bay Packers locker room, to me, it's a combination of play calling and just lack of trust on Jordan, because there were a couple times where I think Jordan Love had some time to throw, but he just felt like the pocket was collapsing, and so it forced bad throws.
It was collapsing,
but not all the time.
No,
That's what
I
I'm
agree.
That
here's the thing: this is coaching. This is another coaching decision that I'm like frustrated with. Jordan Morgan is our right guard or right tackle right now, but he practiced through the whole camp at left tackle. And he got pushed because they don't trust him anymore. But here's the thing. When your offensive line starts having as many injuries as we do, you shift the offensive line and you give help to whoever needs it. They haven't done that. They're leaving him in islands, but he's not talented enough. And I wish there's Packer people that I follow, but I wish you could see these videos where you literally see at the same time 4 offensive linemen on the floor, or they've been picked up and they've been tossed around, and Jordan Love is just running for his life. And granted, that is what it is. Other teams have to deal with that. But we lost Jenkins. That was a big hole right there for the game. And you see these shifts. Matt LaFleur has to be like, okay, we can't build to this. The run game isn't working. The offensive line is injured. Let's shift. Let's alternate what we're doing. He doesn't. And that is the problem this year. He hasn't been that engineer of offenses that scheme people open anymore. He's trying to play the same old playbook, and it's just not going to work this year.
Do you think that if the Packers don't make the playoffs that he gets fired after this year?
I don't want him to get fired. I do think that he could fix a lot of these issues. I do think he'll get fired, though, because we didn't extend him. Mm-hmm. And Packers don't wait till the last year. It's just never been a thing. But he didn't get extended. Ed Policy are the person in charge now.
Yeah, like, and we talked about it when it happened, but again, the Micah Parsons signing to me was like the big indicator that it was like, we got to win now, you know? And
I feel like that was the leadership telling them, like, I'm going to give you what you've been asking for, but if you don't win, you're gone.
Yep.
And here's the thing, I do think that he deserves to keep his job. There's been a lot of goodwill built for the last 4 years with him. Yes, we haven't won a Super Bowl, but a lot of teams haven't won a Super Bowl. The thing is that we've got into positions of at least contention.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that he deserves a chance, but if we don't make the playoffs, or if we completely like this whole offense just doesn't build any momentum at all for next year, yeah, maybe he's gonna get fired, and he'll get hired at another team in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He'll be the number one coach. Trust me, that gets hired.
Yeah, interesting, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the fall of the Packers.
Hey, it's 3 weeks. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm disappointed how this season's going at this junction of the year, but we still started decently hot, and we still have a top 5 defense. If the offense just turns it a little bit around, if you just tell them to score 2 touchdowns, we've lost every game by the lowest margin, like almost ever. Like, I think there's only been 3 teams that have lost by 10 points or whatever, 3 points or something like that in the history of the NFL, and we're like the top right now. I don't even know how to like word that correctly, because it's just not something that you're used to saying. Oh, we lost 3 points. Okay, we lost by 3 points. Okay, it happened again. We lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
And the better way to put it, we lost by only allowing 10 points.
Yeah.
Which means we couldn't even score another touchdown or another field goal. And speaking of field goals, that's another coaching decision. Why is McManus still kicking? Like, we have a younger, more athletic kicker who has the record for the longest kick at Lambeau Field now, and we're letting McManus try to win the game on a 65-yarder.
Yeah, that was interesting. And Nick Sirianni almost like threw the game
Oh,
away.
yeah, he did.
That was nervy. That was scary. I don't know.
They both wanted to lose that game.
Yeah, that's like, alrighty. Well, let's take a look of the NFC North standings after Week 10. So Detroit in first, 6-3. The Bears move into second, 6-3. So tied for first in the division, but of course Detroit owns the tiebreaker there. And Green Bay moving into third, 5-3-1. And then the Vikings sitting in fourth at 4-5. So this is going to change, though, because we got a lot of good games coming up this weekend. So we'll start. Obviously, the Bears are playing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Bears Vikings. So that's already going to potentially change the standings, depending on the outcome of that one. Dylan told me today that he's going to that game. I'm very jealous.
Damn,
So
that's cool.
I hope you have fun at the game,
Yeah, Dylan, take some video
but
for us.
hate the outcome.
Hey,
Because the
Dill.
Bears are winning. We're stealing one back. You stole one from us. We're coming into Minnesota, and we're stealing one back. Mark my words.
Record some video for the podcast, please.
Then we have Packers at Giants. Good news for Packers. Jackson Dart's going to be out again with a concussion, and they are resulting to Jameis Winston. So
That's not good. That's not good at all. Jameis Winston would actually throw the ball for like 500 yards. 6 interceptions, but he'll throw it for 500 yards.
Okay, well, I'm sure you want Jameis Winston over Jackson Dart, because Jackson Dart's been balling, and it might have been a different story if he didn't go out with the concussion for the Bears game. So
Yeah, but our offense isn't scoring right now, so if we get 6 interceptions on Jameis Winston, it's not like we're going to convert that into anything right now. We should win this game. If we don't, fire Matt LaFleur.
Yep. And then you have a Sunday night game. The Lions are playing in Philly against the Eagles. So back-to-back NFC North games for Philly. And, I don't know if you know, but on social media right now, there's been a partnership going on between Bears fans and Philly fans. And we've been doing each other's dirty work because we beat the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Giants. And Philly has been returning the favor by beating the Vikings, now beating the Packers. Now we hope that they beat the Lions.
So what happens at the tell end of the year when you guys go against them.
Yeah, well, we've already discussed that our alliance ends there.
Okay, cool.
So
No tie?
Yeah, that at that point the friendship ends. But it's just been a really funny thing because there's been just a lot of like posts going around, and it'll be a lot of Bears fans and a lot of Philly fans, and it'll be like the bear down, fly Eagles fly, and it's just been crazy because Philly fans they get a bad rep, and they've been real chill to Bears fans these past couple
If
weeks.
it benefits them, no, even if it benefits them, they're toxic as. What are we talking about?
But it's just been funny, and it's been a neat little like courtship between us. So, but yeah, I mean, all NFC games next week. So all interconference,
Oof.
obviously interdivisional for the Bears Vikings, and then both the NFC North is playing the NFC East. So
Should be interesting.
yeah, interesting week for sure, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Bears can steal one back, or if the Vikings just say, F you, we own you. We'll see if the Packers can get back on track, and we'll see if the Lions can continue their offensive domination after the Eagles have shown they can have defensive domination. So it'll be an interesting matchup.
I think
sure.
this is the game. If they're able to do what they did to other teams to the Eagles, then we might have to start saying that the Lions are Super Bowl favorites.
I don't know. Again, this has been a really weird year, and everything is changing week to week. I just think you got to take it 1 week at a time, and you just got to play your best football and find ways to win. So, I'm. It's hard for me to really look at. I mean, the Bills just lost to the Dolphins, and the Bills were like looking real hot the past couple weeks. So it's just.
Hate your running back so much. 70 points.
He had like 50.
Okay, 50 for a running back.
But he had like 200 and something yards, and yeah, it was wild, dude. My fantasy team is rocking this year. Ooh.
And you had Scatterboo.
The risks, yeah, I know. Huge loss, man. But
anyway,
yeah, risks paying off there for sure. Hopefully it stays that way. Fingers crossed. Alrighty, well, I don't have anything else. Should we get into our fun fact?
Let's get into
a fun fact of the day. Alrighty. Cue me.
That's for my team.
No,
I
that's
just hit the wrong one.
Alrighty. I'm going to ask this fun fact question first.
What you got?
Which NFC North team has the most explosive plays entering week 11? It seems pretty obvious.
Explosive
but it doesn't. It's not obvious.
So the Packers had a decent offense before these last 3 weeks, so it could be them because they were like I think by averages they were going downfield a lot. But these last 3 weeks could have fucked that up. If you tell me the Vikings again, I'm gonna be pissed.
So for our listeners that don't know how explosive plays are determined, it's either a rush of more than 10 yards or a passing or a catch of more than 20 yards, I should say. So that is how in the NFL it is defined. So you still want to stick with the Packers, or you leaning towards the Vikings, or you're going with the obvious of the Lions, or maybe the Bears sneak in there.
It's gonna be the Bears apparently, just because the way you're going with it, or how you set this one up.
Yep. The Chicago Bears have 78 explosive plays through the first 10 weeks of the NFL, and actually lead the NFL in explosive plays, which I thought was crazy. I was like, it doesn't feel that way, but coming across that stat line, I was like, I think NFC North fans, especially Bears fans, would be very intrigued to hear that, because again, it seems like our offense has been very inconsistent. But yeah, they lead the league, which is a Ben Johnson staple when you think about it.
I mean, the Lions are probably in first place last year with Ben Johnson.
Oh, they 100% were. So interesting, because
who's second and third, and who's in last? We didn't go that far.
No,
You
I
just saw the
didn't-
Bears and you're
nah, I
like,
didn't go
nah,
that
we
far.
don't need any more
Yeah,
information.
I didn't go that far. Yeah. So
Good one.
wild.
I mean,
wild though, right? Because I wouldn't have seen that coming. I really wouldn't have. It's great, but
I would have thought it was the Lions for sure, though. But yeah,
yeah,
Ben Johnson
I
effect.
thought so too.
The
So,
Ben Johnson effect.
Yep. So there you go. We'll see if the explosive plays continue for the Bears or if some other NFC North teams start making their run. I should pull up the Lions though, so maybe I'll get that for you guys next week so we can see where the entire NFC North team stacks up. But there you have it. That was our fun fact of the day. So I don't really have anything else. I think these, week 11 is again going to be a crazy week. And this NFL season just keeps rolling.
It's a weird year, man.
And you know what? We're going to be mid-November, and before you know it, it'll be December, and then we'll be getting into playoffs. So
Playoffs? You're talking playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
I just need
one NFC North team's going to the playoffs, so
I just need the Packers to have one good offensive week. That's all. Just start with one game. The Giants.
They did against the Lions week 1.
They had a feud against the Dallas Cowboys, and then they tied. So I don't know anymore.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday. Again, follow us on Instagram, NFC North West Coast Edition. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate all of you guys, and we will see you next Thursday. Da Bears.
They're back. It's not back.